Mr. Carl. Last time on the campaign, the session began where it left off previously. There were two bugbears flanking a dark elf necromancer. He clutches a black staff with a head in the shape of a spider. He frowns as he sees us and says, "It seems I must deal with you myself. It's a pity it must end this way." We're treated to a flashback of some dwarven holy men in this very same room saying, "It is secured, it's secured. Have you secured the chamber? The forge has fallen. We have but minutes left. Prepare your defenses and take what you can with you. We shall die with honor this day." And then the double doors crash open and all sorts of monsters crash through. With my apologies to all those dwarves out there for not using a dwarven voice. The scene fades to darkness. And with a nod, the drow pushes one of the bugbears towards us. It goes after Derek and hits him hard. The next thing we notice is a familiar figure emerging from behind. A familiar figure with a glass staff. He says, "You've been a problem long enough," and points something out while saying something about Sildar. Right. We get another bugbear come out from behind the columns. We're all in full combat. At some point, Huckabus kills the drow. With the drow's last dying breath, he says something that makes no sense at all when I read it. "Avenge me!" And 4 spiders emerge. Sophie had a good line when she killed off Glassstaff. It was a rough battle, however, and Sophie went down. The last spider tried to flee after taking her down, but Huckabus gave it the pain as it passed. Then Guthrag brought her back to life. We looked around and saw Sister Gazelli across the room. Huckabus also learned in a moment of wisdom that the Lightbringer hammer was pronounced Achms. We looted some bodies and got some things. We got a couple of staffs. We got some potions, an iron key with a head shaped like an anvil. We got a sack of glinting gold and platinum coins, as well as some gemstones. And Huckabus pocketed an ale mug of hammered platinum. He really hoped that it was a magic mug that would have ale in it perpetually. Regrettably, it did not. Let's see. We attuned some things. We found some things. We spoke with Nuno Rockseeker. And we then celebrated the completion of the Mines of Phandalin by cracking open a bottle of Angel Fire, a legendary 500-year-old brandy. And that's what happened last time.
Okay, so the completion of of the Mines of Phandelver module, or rather what it evolved into with this wonderful, challenging group here, has led us to tonight, where we're going to do a bit of an interlude. The characters have cleared out the mines. They're have a moment to breathe. They still are aware of the potential war situation that seems to be brewing in the vicinity of the Neverwinter Woods. During their downtime, some of them are researching what went on. Some of them are kind of scouting the area to see what's going on, see what see what they found about forces, things of that sort. So what I decided was to give the characters a bit of a chance or the players rather, a bit of a chance to directly impact the campaign. So what I asked each of them to do is pick one of the other PCs, and they would write a short, maybe a 20-30 minute encounter for them. Or perhaps it's just a story, maybe combat, or may not. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We'll each one, each player is going to work with one of the characters and tell us a story of something that happens in the time between the clearing of the mines and what's going to happen next. With that in mind, I want to thank all of my players, the ones who are here and the ones who are no longer able to play with us. Thank all of you for your time, and you've entertained me greatly. Thank you very much. Um, so, with that, Carl is going to begin his scene.
Derek is headed down the Triborn Trail. Let me do that again. Derek is headed down the Triborn Trail, intent on a personal pilgrimage to the ruins of the Temple of Apshai. He's traveled the full day, and it's sort of late, so late in the day he comes across a camped caravan parked in the middle of the road in a circle for defense. While he sees some people who should be on watch on the top of the wagons, their attention is focused not on the road, but towards the center of the circle. He hears commotion and a rhythmic chanting from within, and then decides that since they are blocking the road, he will have to pass through their camp to continue. He enters the circle between two wagons and sees a motley group of humans, all focused on the center of the circle. As he pushes his way through the crowd, he hears a woman crying out, "Won't someone save the children?" And a voice chanting, "The power of Torm compels you! The power of Torm compels you!" over and over again. When he gets close to the center of the group, he sees that there's a young girl tied to a stake on the ground. She appears to be gibbering in rage and pulling at her bonds. Next to her is a man dressed all in black robes, and he might notice a symbol of Torm around his neck. Behind them, there is a young woman who seems very distraught. Just then, one of the yokels turns to Derek and says, "Oi then, who are you?"
Just a traveler passing through. What's going on here?
"What with this? Well, that's Jenny's kid. That's Burra. Pain in the ass, the both of them, I tell you what. We found the wee one this morning. She was chewing on the remains of the blacksmith, she were."
Where was she found?
"In the blacksmith's cabin. Cart."
And she's been like this ever since.
"Well, yeah, she got up this morning, and, when we found them, she was eating what was left of him. We figured she was possessed by a demon, and we was just going to leave her by the side of the road we was, but then this wandering priest came by, and he said that his way is better, and he's trying to, I don't know, exorcise the demon or something."
All right, can I move in closer to the center?
There's between you and this guy, there's like a clear space, and then there's the priest, and he might have like maybe some water that he's splashing on this girl, and she's laying on the ground just gibbering away, gibbering. If that makes sense.
Is she reacting to the holy water?
Why don't you roll me a perception check? Why not?
That's what we do these things for. 16.
In that it seems to be just annoying her. She's reacting, but like you don't see, if you were expecting to see, Hollywood smoke coming off of her body, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
"The power of Thorn compels you."
Where did you say I was heading? I was just heading down the trail?
No, that's okay. We were talking about this. You were going on a little pilgrimage back to the Temple of Apshai.
Right.
While you're standing there just taking in the
Anything.
scene.
I
Oh,
don't.
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking here. I don't have anything in the way of exorcism. I don't think. So I don't know how much help I'll actually be here.
While you're standing there pondering your lack of exorcism skills, uh, uh, you actually see her bonds, especially the ones like she was tied to a stake. You see that kind of pull free, and she attacks the priest. And she's on the priest and kind of like biting at his neck. Arr, arr, arr.
All right.
What do you do?
Now I'm pulling out my sword and charging in.
All right, go on. What do you do?
I'm gonna make a charge attack at the beast to try and do like a shoulder tackle to
Okay.
knock her off of him.
Do me a favor and let's roll initiative.
Okay. I'm not going first.
All right. The girl is actually going first, and she bites down on the priest's neck, and there's just blood everywhere. There's just blood spurting everywhere. Everyone that's in that crowd that was gathered around starts to freak out and scream, and they're all starting to run away while you're charging straight towards her. It's your turn.
Okay, I want to try and make the shoulder tackle here. You want me to make an attack roll with that? Just like
By
an attack
all
roll with
means.
strength?
Yeah. I think that's how that's done.
All right, I got a 17.
You hit her with your shoulder, and she's like the priest is kind of slumping to the ground. As the priest slumps to the ground, he kind of sees you coming in, and he tosses something towards you. And you connect with her, this young girl. Did I mention she was a young girl? She's probably 7, maybe 8. She's human. You didn't ask, but everybody's human here. I don't know if I mentioned that.
I assumed.
Pale.
Yeah, you said it was
really
a bunch of
pale.
humans.
Yeah, real pale. Anyway, you hit her, and you hit her pretty hard, and she's actually thrown backwards about 10 feet, and kind of rolls a little bit. If you look down at your feet, you'll see that the priest threw his sign of torm at you, towards you, not at you.
Okay. I assume it probably just bounced off of me and hit the dirt.
Well, yeah. You know. So that's there. What do you want to do?
Is the priest dead?
Well, as you
He's still alive.
kind of lean over to check on the bleeding out priest, that was a hint, something catches your eye by the little girl, and like I said, she rolled back about 10 minutes, but kind of like there's a fog rolling in, if that makes sense. She's suddenly covered by a black inky shroud, and it grows outwards and kind of expands a little bit and slowly forms into the shape of a winged humanoid. It has enormous claws and giant bat-like wings, and it's got a malevolent stare and some big vicious fangs, and in your head, you actually hear it say, "I see you." And it's going to, you might notice, and I say you might notice because I'm kind of bypassing rolling a lot of perceptions. I hope that's all right. But
That's
you might
fine.
notice in its left hand, there's something that resembles a rag doll, a very kind of young girl-sized rag doll. This guy's pretty big, by the way. He's probably 10 or 12 feet tall, but like the bottom of him's all mist and shadow. You can't really see, but the top of him's really clear. And he's actually going to kind of rush you, and he's going to swing the other claw at you. And I don't know. I actually should know your AC, but I don't have it right in front of me.
It's a 16.
Well, a 16 plus whatever hits then. He hits you. You take 10 psychic damage. There we go.
Okay.
You take 10 psychic damage, and it hisses at you. It's your turn. As it hits you with that psychic damage, I'm sorry. As it hits you with that psychic damage, you feel like a sense of evil and malevolence and maybe horror, all rolled in one.
Okay. I'm going to attack back at this thing.
Do so.
Does a 20 hit?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to get... I'm going to use my Divine Smite here, so
Yes,
I get an extra 2d8 radiant damage. So we've got 9 normal damage.
Is that bludgeoning by chance?
No, it's slashing.
Sorry.
And 16 radiant damage.
Nice. Let me just double check something here. Ken, I need you to tell me something that I don't know. Is Ken there?
He's here.
What does it mean if something is vulnerable to a damage?
Doubles.
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you for that, Ken. The creature in front of you hisses at you and says again, "I see you," and it takes a good old swipe at you, and ooh, that might actually miss. Nope, that hits. Also, you take another 10 points of psychic damage, and you feel really horrible inside. After it does that, it starts to back away, which I guess gives you an opportunity attack.
Yes, which I am
Go
going
ahead.
to take. A 15?
Yes, sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 15. Yep, that hits.
All right, we're going to do another Divine Smite because he really didn't seem to like that. So 8 regular damage.
Yep.
And 13 radiant damage.
All right. So he's backing away. And as he backs away, he crosses over where the sign of Torn.
Torm with an M.
I'm sorry, I can't remember that. He crosses where the sign of Torm is, and with his claw that he was hitting you with, he kind of flicks it straight towards your head. And he hits you with it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then he continues to back away, and he's saying, "I see you." And that's all in your head, by the way. He's not actually saying that. It's in your
Yeah.
head. And he is now 20 feet in the air and he's 10 feet away from you and 20 feet up. You want to do anything?
I can't do anything if he's up.
It's daylight, and it's pretty easy to see him, but he's starting to look just like a really dark black inky cloud.
Yeah.
You definitely, though, see this ragdoll, and maybe you think that's the little girl's soul, and he disappears into the forest.
Okay. I'm going to quick
Do you
run
pick
and...
up the symbol of Torn?
No, I'm going to check on the priest first.
He's dead.
Damn. I assume everybody else has fled and disappeared.
Booked. You're alone with a dead corpse of a priest and a little girl.
So the corpse of the girl is there too?
The corpse is there.
And this thing flew off into the forest.
You're not sure. It just kind of disappeared. Flew up into the sky and maybe dissipated. Maybe it went towards the forest like everybody else did. Yeah, shadow demon.
Fantastic. Okay. How far am I from a town?
You're on the Triborn Trail. you're kind of halfway between. Darn it! I think I deleted those notes. There you go. You're halfway between Phandalin and Mirabar. You're not terribly far from your temple, but I'll be honest with you, that was your session, and the idea there was you got to make a choice as to whether you were sticking with your path or considering moving on. And obviously you're sticking with your path, aren't you?
Yeah.
For those of you at home,
You're gone, Carl.
Yeah, your sound got really weird. I don't know what happened there.
But that's okay.
I was grunting into the microphone. That was intentional.
Oh, okay. Let me take a little fiat, if I may. What do you do with the two corpses?
I bury them.
When you go to bury the girl,
Mm-hmm.
and you like she landed on her face, and you're rolling her over, just getting her ready. You hear,
"The seal is open. The gate will be soon."
as the last breath escapes from her lungs. Then you can bury her.
Wonderful.
Would you repeat
How did you do that,
in
Mike?
your
How did you do that voice? That was awesome.
"The seal is broken. The gate will open soon."
Yeah, kudos to that, man. Holy crap.
Yes, let me tell you, having a husband who speaks in that voice sometimes is not the most reassuring thing.
I can imagine, but also the fact that the seal's been broken and we're all fucked. That's what I heard. I'm sorry. That's
That's kind of what it sounded like.
Okay. Very
Hope you
nice.
enjoyed that, Derek.
No, very well done, Carl.
So you just left the symbol on the ground, Derek.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's what's up.
So that leads us to Royce, who will be interacting with Sophie tonight.
Alrighty. All set.
Give me 1 minute.
Okay. We now interrupt this broadcast for these special announcements. Somebody give me a special announcement.
Coming soon, The Provokers, Campaign 2, 20
Heck
years in the
yeah.
future. Will it be the same people? Will it be different people? We don't know.
Should I?
Or we can
Brought
also
to
go
you.
to.
This advertisement brought to you by Absolute Tabletop and Tabletop Terrors.
And
Heck yeah.
Fistful of Dice, and also How to Be a Better Game Master.
Don't forget Tabletop Terrors.
He said that first.
Oh, did he? My bad.
I'm
Should
back.
I-
I'll save all the people out in YouTube land.
Alrighty. We good to go?
Yes. Oh wait, I think I have got my thing saved. Yes.
Awesome. All right, so to set the scene here, we see a rickety building. It's not too rickety, but you can tell that it's not ventured very often in Phandelver. And as we go inside, we see shelves and shelves of old books. And the dust dances in the sunlight coming through the glass windows. And in and amongst these dusty old books that have clearly been quite disturbed over these past couple of weeks, we find Sophie. And she is skimming the shelves to find some books. One of these books catches her eye. It doesn't seem like the rest. Looks like sort of maybe a pocket notebook of sorts. And what does the book look like whenever you pull it off the shelf, Sophie?
Oh. everything you always wanted to know about this world, written by Ken Sheffield. Sorry. A book that I would pull out would be about the war, the last war with the Fae and the elves. If I was to pick one, but I'll be nice and I say it's a book on the um, the planar dimensions.
All right. So this book that's written about the planar dimensions, if you were to flip through the pages of these, dust would fly off. And inscribed in one of the pages is what would appear to be the word love. And now, for some reason, Sophie, this word strikes quite the chord with you. And you get a vision, a flashback, if you will, to an elf with silvery blonde hair and blue-green eyes reaching his hand out to you. And as this memory comes back into Sophie's mind, a tear starts to stream down her face in remembrance, remembering the good times and the bad. And we start to hear some sort of commotion outside. Cue Carl. You're muted, bud.
From outside, you hear Huckabus's voice going, ja, 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 ich bin in sein Viren. Ha ha! And is there a door to this place?
Oh, yeah.
As he says, haha, he kicks the door open and says, hello, Sophie, I brought some ale.
And just as the tear streams down Sophie's face and splatters against the rotting wooden floor, Huckabus comes in and says this. Oh, I was waiting for Sophie to respond to what you said.
Oh wait, he was saying. I don't want you to see me, right? I just have some thoughts that are going through my head, right?
Oh, that's
But,
all
you
right.
know?
So the ale bottle wants to see you right now. Yeah. And he walks in and hands an ale bottle. Have a drink on me. Does Huckabus know this? It might be a little...
There's big old tears in Sophie's eyes.
Right, but it's Huckabus. Does he notice this?
That's true.
Oh yeah, he would definitely notice that Sophie doesn't seem to be all put together right now.
Well, with that, he will uncap the bottle of ale and get out the cup from the mine and pour some in the cup and says, "Here, this is for you. Why don't you tell me all about it?"
Thank you. I think I might actually drink ale today.
I wish I had wine for you.
It's just been a long time.
What do you mean?
They're discussing this plane of happiness and all this, and people go there to find husbands and wives, and it just made me think of this a boy from my mother's village that I was so very in love with.
Tell me about him.
Oh, but you don't want to hear my You don't want to hear all this silliness. I'll drink your ale with him.
Huckavis has sat on the floor cross-legged and is just staring at Sophie as he kind of doing this.
Oh, Huck,
Just like that.
Huck, have you ever been in love?
9.
And you don't have a father who thinks he's the world to tell you not to be in love either, do you?
I don't think I have a family except for you and my friends. Oh, and Charlie. Well, Charlie's one of my friends, so I don't have to list him.
You know,
Suddenly, magically, the bottle got bigger.
Usually I would think how sad that is for you, but
It's not sad. It is life. It's fun.
I think at this moment it seems very, very okay, because if you've never been in love, then you can't have had your heart broken. And to have your heart broken by someone that you love and you trust and that you believe in, and they're the whole world and nothing is ever bigger than they are. That's a terrible thing. And if it had been having my heart broken by a boy, it would be one thing, but I had my heart broken by my father, who I loved and I trusted and I thought was everything in the world.
That sounds kind of strange.
Huck, my father, I think I've told everyone around us that my father is a human, and he's quite an important human. And I don't either. I didn't realize. When I was younger, I thought, oh, I'm so lucky. I've got my father's human family and my mother's elfin family. How lucky I am. But no, you see, my father, who did not want to marry the woman that his father said, you shall marry, he decided that when his daughter, who everyone in our town thinks of as an elf, even though I'm not fully elf, this man gets upset with me for falling in love with an elven boy. Does that not seem hypocritical to you? He can fall in love with an elven girl, but let that happen to his daughter, and oh no.
And as you guys are talking, you begin to hear rain splatters against the glass panes, and you can't see the dust dancing in the sunlight anymore.
Is Nadia's theme playing? That one was for the old people.
Oh, my love. I'm sorry.
That's not Nadia's theme.
Not even close. Are there candles about?
Oh, yeah.
I have a magic torch. See?
Please don't create a bonfire in a room full of books.
The magic
would.
torch doesn't catch things on fire.
Not that either of us really need
True.
anything.
True. But there were a few candles lit because the sunlight wasn't giving too much of a reading light, so to speak.
I really wanted to marry him.
Well,
And then
it seems more fitting to me that you would marry. I mean, half-elves live a very long time, do you not? And so do elves, so it seems more fitting that you would marry. To me, humans, they're like me, they don't live very long, you know?
Well, my father wanted me to be a royal bride. He wanted me to move up even further in social circles than he did, than he was. And I just wanted to be happy. Silly for us to want to be happy, wouldn't you think? Silly.
I wouldn't
But-
know, my dear.
You've never been happy either?
Well, I'm a tiefling, come on.
Okay. Well, if we visit my grandmother's village to tell them, oh, I don't even know. Huck, you might have to save me from myself if we visit her village, because while it would be the right thing to do to tell the elven community that of the coming war, I might see him again.
Well, why does your father live in an elven village? That seems to be...
No, I might see. No.
Oh, you might see the boys. That would be very sad. He wouldn't be a boy so long, would he?
Oh, he's still a boy. He's an elf. It's not been but a minute or two.
Oh,
At least
God.
that's what it would be to you, I'm sure. But it's been a few years, and he's not even really of marrying age yet.
I'm sorry, do I know how old Sophie is?
No, I don't know if you do.
Does Huckavis know how old Sophie is? Huckavis has always assumed that she's much older than the rest of us. Because she's an elf. Not for any
She's
reason.
half elf.
Right.
But Huck probably sees her as an elf because he doesn't want to see the human part.
Right.
I don't think she's ever told anybody.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's only been a few years, and I would have been a noble elven woman. Why wasn't that important enough to my father? I'm sorry. You don't want to hear all this.
No. Tell me all about it.
It's hard to understand the silliness of humans, isn't it? I mean,
It's hard to understand the capriciousness of them. It's hard to understand the horribleness of them. But silliness, I'm silly myself. I don't think that's what you mean, so.
it's not. I don't mean it in that way. I just mean, I have a brother.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, I do, and he's an older brother, and he will inherit my father's title. Why do I have to be married off to some terrible, rotten human, probably older than me, without any teeth, and that I'll live, and you're very good point, I'll live a lot longer than he will, just so that my father can drain out the elven blood from his grandchildren. He really regretted marrying my mother. That much.
He regretted marrying. Wait, he was a human with designs on being noble, and he married into a elven noble clan and regretted it? That doesn't make sense to me. That was something.
Maybe my grandfather was an earl, and my father was born into a noble family. He didn't just have designs on being it. When he was my age, he did not want to marry the woman that his father told him he should marry. So he ran off. Got lost. Has a terrible sense of direction if he doesn't have someone with him. He got lost, and my mother found him, and he fell in love with my mother. Married her.
Yeah.
Married her and took her back. Took her back, and his father, my grandfather, threw a conniption fit. Because you see, my father is the oldest son. He's the only son. And he doesn't remember being that age, I guess.
No,
But
who always knew, I suppose. I don't understand all these things. Again, actively.
the human world is just
It's very
it's
confusing.
I lived in it and it's confusing.
I lived in it too. You saw what I kind of lived for a while.
Neverwinter?
No, it was Charlie and
Ah,
Jay Kraken and all. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but we did a lot of very bad things.
worse than destroying your daughter's happiness. I don't know.
And just as you say that, Sophie, you begin to hear a slight ringing in your ears. And as you look back down at the book that's in your hand still, it slowly begins to slide down to the floor as everything starts to go quite fuzzy. A crack of thunder rings out as your eyes roll back into your head and you begin to fall to the floor. And it's quite black for a bit. You have flashes of his blue-green eyes, his silvery blonde hair, and then you see your love. And that is where the scene will end. Awesome.
Making me be all romantic and all that sort of thing.
I especially like how Royce wrote his scene to make Carl and Lisa do all the work. Very clever.
Hey, I was utilizing the players. That's what D&D is all about. I think I gave you plenty of stuff to work with there, Ken.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, you're fired, so.
No, very good, very good.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. That was fun. Little did I realize I was going to have to bear my soul to Huckabus of all people.
I figured since you guys have been together the longest, because nobody from that party is left.
Very cool. All right, so Lisa, do you need a minute to prep? Ready to roll.
I need about 2 seconds to swallow the second bite of my dinner.
Hey, that was my special way of saying I need to run to the restroom. So,
Oh, thank you.
Intermission.
Good, so do I.
quick intermission. Very soon.
That was very cool, guys. The first two sessions were really, really cool. I liked them both.
I was going to say, anyone who doesn't have to pee, entertain the viewers that will have what day.
So, coming next week, we have the start of Act 2 of the campaign.
Hey, yo.
Act 2. Who even thought we'd even be together this long? But instead, we are going to go to Act 2.
2.
With some surprises and some not so surprises and some other things and stuff, and I'm just rambling for no reason.
Two. Act
Two.
Let's play some Provokers trivia.
I don't watch the Provokers, so you're gonna win.
I don't.
Yo, I got a shout out on the air. I was so
we
proud.
know you had your man crush said your name. I understand.
I'm immortalized.
With about 75 other people. Woohoo!
Not sure that really fits.
People think you're the coolest.
Boy.
That's funny.
Yeah, but that was cool though. I know you liked to role play and like I know you like to talk, Lisa. So
You gotta play to people's strengths, man.
yeah.
Me?
So I figured that would be tailored to you.
Thank you. I do have. I didn't realize how much I was going to be thinking on my feet tonight.
It was good. You did a really good job, actually. I was
Thank
impressed.
you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Did you know you were in for it whenever I asked you what the book was?
Well, no, I just wasn't even thinking. I'm thinking, what would... I really was thinking, what would Sophie like to take home with her?
Mm.
That's what I was thinking. I should ask him if I can take that book home with me. Yes.
Sure.
You absolutely should be able to take that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Although you did black out, so.
Yeah, you did black out, so you might not even be alive. How do we know?
Well, that's true. I figured that my Fae patron was coming along next.
Me too.
I thought so too, and I was like, yes, we get to meet him.
No, I don't think any of y'all can climb into my head, and you don't want to.
I'm very happy to be going last because there's gonna be the dun 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 moment in mine. So.
Dun dun dun. Guthrag's ready.
Funny side note. In the state of Texas, in order to be buried in a cemetery, you have to have a tombstone of a specific size and shape. Fun story and true fact. That size and shape of tombstone is copyrighted. So
Sorry,
every
what?
time you buy a tombstone, you're paying a royalty.
Wow.
Really?
That's called a scam, my friends.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Easy work if you can get it. Yeah.
You're telling me that I'm not allowed to pick my own tombstone? I have to pick what they give me?
You don't live in Texas now.
I know, but if I were to live in Texas, I wouldn't have the freedom to pick up my own
advice against
tombstone.
Living in Texas or dying
Yeah.
in Texas?
Well, first of all, it's only if you're getting buried, right? So you can go ahead and cook yourself. You
Oh,
should
yeah,
sit
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Or you can buy one of those tree bulb things.
I think
I'm
that's what
doing
we're-
the
I think
tree
that's what
thing.
we're all doing.
Or, like
The
what I
tree
want,
thing?
you can be put in a garbage bag and thrown in a dumpster somewhere where...
No.
I'm keen on the idea of being chummed and thrown in for a bunch of sharks.
That'd be cool.
Good idea.
I'm into that one.
I want to have my ashes
Well-
scattered in space.
The thing about the sharks, you can. There's a thing in the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland where you can have your ashes stirred into concrete, and they make part of the reef barrier, so you can be chomped on by little fishies.
I
Oh,
like
that's
it.
pretty cool.
I want my body when I die to be stuffed into a Superman costume and thrown out of an airplane over a suburban zone.
Oh,
So I can freak out some little kids on the way out.
That's amazing.
I hate to
You've
tell
never
you
told me
this,
that story before, but that sounds fantastic.
well, I hate to tell you this, but my guess is you'll be breaking about 429 ordinances and laws.
But who cares? He's dead.
Yeah, I feel
That's
that
true.
would be fair.
All
What's it
right.
gonna matter to him?
All right.
Can I bite this last bite of my dinner? I'll be done because I've been chewing faithfully, and I'll be nice enough not to put the plate down in between the two dogs because we wouldn't hear anything else other than well, probably Rudy kicking the 15-pound dog, kicking the butt of the 45-pound dog.
Sounds about right, usually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you sip of tea?
I thought you were making some little French statement at first, but then I figured it out.
French of tea? A drink of tea?
Sip of tea.
Okay. Same.
So now we are going to get ready to get a glimpse into the life of Huckabus Novair.
I'm going to put a few reminders out there because I remember that Huck is from, when he says Huckabus of Novare, Novare is actually a place. See, I didn't know that.
Guys, I'm sorry. I just had a chairastrophe. I'll be back very shortly. I'm sorry.
Well, that will give me time to drink another sip of tea.
I know that Sophie is aware that Novare is a place.
No, she's not. Not at all.
I think he's Huckabus Novare is like his last name.
Right. Exactly.
She might find out here shortly.
I don't know. She may be crying for days. And I can't even remember the name. I kept wanting to say something other than that boy kind of thing. And I can't even remember the name I gave you, Royce. Do you have that somewhere?
Oh, yeah, I have it right here. I was saving it just in case. Here, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Retcon. There we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have it highlighted in my notes just in case.
We should all try to pronounce this thing I wrote up.
Whoops. I almost unplugged my headphones.
No breaking anything. Not allowed.
I almost did. But
Okay.
it's okay. It's good now.
Ooh. It looks like the chairastrophe is over.
Yeah, I leaned on my chair and one of the legs broke, and luckily I didn't go pitching. But yep, no more chair
Yeah.
for me. I'm on a stool. So
Let me tell you, from many, and Ken can tell you, many experiences, that when you, if you're on blood thinners especially, when you fall out of a chair
I am.
and you're on blood thinners,
Yeah.
you don't want to hit your head. You do know what happens then, right?
Do you remember that I broke my shoulder 2 years ago? That's how that happened.
Do you have to go have a CT? Like every time I hit my head, and we're talking so
This
much
is a
that
very-
EMS knows.
Yes, this
Very
is very,
interesting.
very D&D-ing.
Okay, sorry.
I feel very immersed.
We're in the
No.
we're playing. What are we playing? We're playing
Humans and households.
Humans and
As
households. Yeah.
as the blood thinners turn. So, Huck, what are you going to do on your downtime after Fandolin? Are you going to go anywhere, do anything?
Yeah, he was going to head back and hang out with Charlie for a bit.
Okay, why don't you just
Check out the town. You know, maybe do a little grave robbing. Probably try and buy some things here and there. That type of thing.
So you head out to Neverwinter, and you have a very uneventful trip. Believe it or not. No.
That is my favorite kind. There was no sturges at all.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I passed that place for that little girl who I used to like. She claimed that she ate some giant balls or something, and that passed. But I still don't believe that happened. No, she didn't eat him, Charlie. That was a joke.
Are you talking to Charlie now?
I don't know. Not sure
So,
who I'm talking to.
When you
Right.
get to Neverwinter, and it's late. Where are you going?
Oh, that'd be to the Rusty Bucket.
To the smelly armpit? Okay. And you go into the Rusty Bucket, and you see a familiar face behind the bar. It's Charlie.
Charlie, look at my new glass. Fill it with your fine ale, will you?
Huckabus, where you been?
I've been away. I'm back. Hello.
Well, here, have a drink. You seem to be alone, or are you scouting this place out for rendezvous later?
Nine. It is just me. I came to visit with my friend.
It's good to see you. So, anything interesting happened to you recently?
Not particularly. I got this cool mug though. Look at it. It's hammered. and I intend on being so later.
Where'd you find the mug?
I found it in a hole somewhere.
Trust you to find a mug. I thought you'd be finding, stuff of monetary value to give Jay his cut of.
I will see Jay soon. That's between him and me, and you know it.
I know. I'm just it's interesting because you came up in conversation the other day.
Do tell. Was he talking about the times that I scared the dragon off?
Well, no, my wife and I were talking.
You're not married. When did you get married, Charlie?
I've been married for a long time. You just didn't know
You never
it.
talk about her.
It's Myra. You know
Is
Myra.
she human like you?
Yes, she's right over there.
Hi, Myra. I'm kidding with you. Of course I know.
She was asking me just the other day about some things in the history books, and I was telling her I hadn't seen you in a long time.
It's not been that long, has it? A month
Well,
or so.
we were talking about things that did happen a long time ago, things that are in the history book.
Go on, then.
And Charlie looks around and kind of late. Anybody who's going to do any kind of business is upstairs doing business, but there's a lot of ruckus going on. He calls Myra over. Myra, he makes a little signal to her. When she comes over, she gives you a nod, hello, and Charlie whispers in her ear and says, "You just take care of the bar. You might want to call Joey out of the back, but I'll be back shortly. Huck, I think it's time you came with me. I got some stuff to tell you."
Well, where are we going?
Well, there's Ale there. Do you care where we're going?
Yeah, I think I am concerned. But
We're just going to go over and
let us go.
we're just going to go in this private room back here.
You first.
And Charlie walks into the private room because he knows there's nothing back there. At least there better not be. Lights a candle. Shuts the door. It's behind you, Huck. Have a seat, my friend. I gotta. Myra told me that I needed to tell you this, and I don't know if I was just gonna wait and never tell you, or what.
He casts control flames on the candle, and it brightens up, and it's twice as bright now.
That's a pretty impressive trick.
Isn't that fun? I just learned that recently. Now, what do you have to tell me?
Well, how much do you remember about your mother?
I do not know my mother. I never met her.
I didn't think so. You were
I presumed I met her in a very specific way, because obviously I came from somewhere. But insofar as, actually remembering her, there has no memory.
Well,
He winks at Charlie. You know what I'm talking about.
I think so. I do. I'm going to try to put that picture out of my head now.
Me too.
I knew your mother.
What? You did not know my mother, Charlie.
I knew your mother.
No, I don't. Really? Did you know her? Was she a nice lady?
Idina was an incredibly nice lady. And we're going to keep this conversation just between the two of us, right? You can tell Myra.
Wait.
Not that kind of. No, not that kind of.
That would be weird, because you don't have these, and he taps his horns.
we didn't have that kind of conversation. We didn't have that kind of friendship. I don't mean that at all.
No, that's okay. Of all the people I know in this area, if you were my father, that would not be the worst thing ever. Can I call you Daddy from now on?
I think we're going to avoid that. My children might get a little confused.
Well, I'm very confused, so you best tell your story.
Well, your mother's name was Idina. And it wasn't Idina Navarre. It was Idina Frolot.
I'm sorry, what?
Frollat.
I'm sorry, what?
Fro, I think. Llet. She didn't spell all that well, so I'm going to assume that's how.
She was a tiefling, right?
She was a tiefling, yes.
Tell me about her horns.
Well, I can tell you what I know of her.
Well, you saw her. Did her horns
Yes.
look like mine?
Oh, her horns. Incredibly. Yes, and I think you
They
and
went the
she...
wrong way like mine.
Exactly. I think the two of you were the only two I've ever seen whose horns went clockwise.
Can we roll...
But I'm your mother saved Mara's life.
Oh, how so?
Mara and I were walking. This is just after we got married. Before the rift was opened, before the demons came. When this restaurant was a restaurant, not just a bar.
Yeah.
When this was an incredible establishment. When we had the nobility coming before things went down, and I just never had the heart to leave. But those are other stories for other people. But Myra and I had just recently gotten married, and we were just walking down the street, happened to be crossing the street. I stepped back long enough to talk to someone I knew from the restaurant. Myra kept going, and an out-of-control carriage came down the road. And almost, you could see she looked like a deer in headlight in flame lights. She had no idea what was happening. And Idina, who I didn't know at all at that moment, a young tiefling woman, ran out into the street and pushed Myra out of the way. If it had not been for your mother, the love of my life would be dead. Idina was a very special woman, Huck. Very special.
What became of her?
Well, after that, she came and worked here for me.
What?
Yes. Yes, she was the...
So you ran a restaurant. Why do I
It
never
was a
heard
restaurant.
anything about this?
Well, this is not a story I wanted to tell you until I was sure that you were ready to hear it. And then I think I started telling myself that, don't get into all that old nonsense. And then Myra said, you have to tell the boy. So, but Idina did. She cooked here. She was an incredible cook. If it was not for Idina, I also would be selling swill to people because Myra could not cook. And trust me, she could not cook. But Idina shared all kinds of recipes with her. Things that still people, I don't know if I would tell anybody, what was in the recipes. But she just had a way in the kitchen.
So you're telling me that all these times that I've stayed here, all these times that I've eaten here, I'm eating my mother's food?
Yes, you are.
This is very strange.
Well, you seem to me to be at a point in your life that you could handle knowing this. And let me tell you something else. Your mother was so funny. She could tell jokes like you would not believe. And she would have the whole kitchen laughing, like incredibly. Just I've never heard anyone tell a joke like her since. But when we heard tell of the demons coming, when we knew this was not going to be a good thing, I sent for Idina, and she brought you to me.
Wow.
Yes.
Who's my father?
That she never would talk about that. She never would talk about it. I don't think it was a happy match. And I wish I could tell you more about that, Huck. I really do. I just know that whenever I tried to talk about who your father was, Idina would say it's water under the bridge, and it's not a bridge I even want to go over. So I wish I could tell you. But yeah, she knew that things were going to be bad. I knew that things were going to be bad. And as I told you, Myra would not be here if it had not been for your mother. And there was no way I was going to let anything happen to you after that. And so I had a passerby, friend, acquaintance, I'm not sure what you want to call him, but a gnome man, Sindri, who said he would make sure that you were okay. And he took you. He said he was going to take you someplace that you would be safe with your own kind. And he took you, and I found out later that there was some kind, and I told him I did not want to know. I never wanted anybody to be able to torture me into telling them where you were. But someplace in the woods where you were safe from.
Why would someone torture you?
Why would what?
Why would someone torture you to learn my whereabouts?
Not so much your whereabouts, but any demon. And he puts quotations in the air. Anyone who might have known that Idina worked here and might have thought that I would have some way of knowing where the remainder of the tieflings that they thought were demons. Because after the rift, let me tell you, people were crazy. People were
Yes,
crazy.
I know many of these stories. I've been called many things in this town.
Well, it's not because the tieflings are bad people.
You don't have, well.
Yes, you know that. You are a tiefling. But I can tell you, I wouldn't.
So what became of my mother?
Shall we? Let's just say that she was killed.
No, I need to know more than that.
I will tell you what I know, but it's not very much. During the rift, there was when the demons were here. People, as I said, people became crazy, and anyone who even came close to looking as if they might be a demon or an imp or anything, they wanted to rid the town.
Was it a mob or a man?
It was a mob.
I was afraid you were going to say. I don't want to know deep.
I'm glad to hear that, because Huck, it wouldn't do you any good to know any more.
If I think you are lying to me, I will burn you to the ground. You understand?
I'd have no reason to lie to you. Idina meant the world to Myra, to me. There's no way I would
This
want
is
to lie.
more than I've known about my family. Ever. Tell me more about this Sindri. I knew a Sindri. We met her. She was crazy.
Have you?
Roll around on the floor giggling.
No. Sindri's a bounty hunter. He's a little gnomish bounty hunter.
I'm sorry, if we can go aside for half a second, wasn't that one of Rosebud's names?
What's her father's name?
Rosebud's name?
Maybe. Not Rosebud's name. But it's
Then I will abandon this track of questioning, for I obviously
yeah, Sindri had a oh he also he had a beautiful little gnomish wife who she was murdered. They left a child and they called her Sunshine. I can't remember exactly.
You met her.
I met Sunshine when I was out that way.
No. She was
Oh
here in your tavern.
no, Sunshine was never here. Sindri never brought her here.
You're not listening to me, Charlie. She was here with me in this tavern. She was the little gnomish girl that had such a problem behaving herself.
What? What?
She's dead, also.
What?
So
Sindri's
what you're
so-
telling me is that everyone
Oh.
who knew anything about all of this is dead. Except for you and your lovely wife.
Well, first of all, Sindri's not dead. And second
He's
of all, I'm
not?
going
Do
to
you
have to
see
tell him
him?
occasionally.
You will have to tell him
But
that he and I must speak when you see him.
I will tell him, but worst problem is one of us is going to have to tell him his little girl is dead.
I will be the bearer of that news. I was there.
Sunshine's gone? Hey, her name wasn't, that little girl, her name was something else. It wasn't, I'd have remembered if it was Sunshine.
Am I screwing canon up left and right here?
Are you what?
Am
No.
I screwing the canon up
No,
left and right?
no,
No.
no, you're doing fine. Go ahead.
Okay. It was Rosebud, not Sunshine. No, her name was... Jesus.
Sunshine was another one of her nicknames.
Thank you for that voice from above. I appreciate that.
Sindri always just called her Sunshine, because she was the sunshine of his life.
Yes.
Her
yes.
name was Elanie. Oh, it started with an E. I
All
can't
those gnomes
remember
have
it,
so
but
many names. It's hard to keep track.
don't they just?
Yes, I am sure that that's the same person that I was traveling with.
Did
We
she
met
have
going to Fandolin the first time.
did she have any kind of special weapons?
Yes.
What did she have? Maybe
Oh.
we're talking about this. Maybe we are talking about the same girl.
Well, my friend, this is not the same thing you would have seen, but the hilt is the same. And he pulls out Pain and shows him the hilt of the now green glowing spectral blade.
Oh my God, you do have it.
Yes, Pain and Joy.
Where's the other one?
I think it's right here. I'm double checking.
Just to help, I think you burned that.
I
Yeah.
don't think I actually picked that one up. Yeah.
The bow you burnt.
Oh, that's not Joy. That's
Rain.
Ring.
Ring.
That was me.
I did
Yes.
have the arrows, but not the bow. But
But I
Pain,
thought
I have Joy.
the other one somebody else has, I think.
That's fine. Yes,
But-
this is a pain, and I have taken it upon myself.
You know the history of this weapon.
No.
Little Rosebud, you called her.
Yeah. She was that little gnome.
Her-
I love rolling around, all giggly. She was fun.
I was about to kick her out.
You want
That
to-
was oh my goodness. Sindri must never hear of that. Sindri, promise me you'll not tell Sindri when I introduce you.
As long as you promise to introduce me.
Yeah, I will. I'll send out messengers to. He's hard to get in touch with because He's a
Very,
the bounty hunter.
very. Oh, so he's all over, yeah.
Right.
I see.
But I will make
Well,
sure.
you can get. Normally, you can get the message to me at the inn in Fandler.
That town you hate.
Well, you know, love, hate, things change, don't they?
They won't when you find the right woman. But I just can't believe that Sindri's little girl, that cute little girl, she wanted to be a animal trainer. She wanted some kind of crazy flying thing.
Yes, well, a big manticore ate her.
Oh,
I
please,
I
please.
tried to get the elves to bring her back to life, and they kind of did and kind of didn't. It was very confusing, and I'm still not sure what happened. But even that person then left us. That person then went on to join, I don't know, some silly god's quest. It's very confusing.
A God's quest?
I don't know. Gods, demons, isn't it all the same thing when you're getting down to it?
It won't be to Sindri, let me tell you. Sindri loved that girl.
Well,
like your mother
she
loved
died
you.
like she lived in a foolish and careless way.
Don't tell Sindri that.
No, I will not.
Tell Sindri she went on a God quest.
But
Tell
she
him that.
didn't really, but all right. I'm good at lying to people.
Use your best charm, your best charm, because he's liable to take you down where you stand.
I doubt that.
And well, trust me, he may be a little old gnome, but nobody wants to mess with him. He takes down animals, huge bears and everything. He's pretty impressive. But I trust you to tell Sindri in a way that will not break his heart, because he will.
Yeah, I understand. My ale glass is empty. What more can you tell me of my mother?
He feels you got a big thing of ale there, like an iced tea pitcher, but bigger.
Thank you for that. What else can you tell me of my mother?
You might want to talk to Myra later, because I can tell you, she and Myra spent many hours in the kitchen with I don't know how Idina did it, but she turned Myra from don't let her near the kitchen. Don't tell her there is a kitchen in the restaurant, which is kind of funny for a restaurant, but she doesn't deserve to be here cooking for the people here. She should be in one of those over at the Floofity Floof or something. She was a special. She ran out and she didn't even have to. Ran out in front of a carriage that was going to mow Myra down and
Do
knocked
you
her
know
out
where
of the
she
way.
came from?
I bet Myra does. I bet Myra does, because if you think I think thought the world of her, I promise you that Myra thought she was Myra promised me over and over again, promised Idina, who said, your mother said, I just did what should be done. When Myra said, I can't believe you saved my life. You must come and let my husband give you a job. You must this and you must that. And Idina would say, you don't have to give me anything. You don't do this. I'm just a woman doing what she should do. She didn't want anything from anyone. She was a proud woman. She was a very proud woman. And you should be happy to have had a woman who cared enough about you to make sure to bring you to me to make sure that you'd be okay. she'd make sure that she would be okay with not living through the riots that were happening, as long as she made sure you were okay.
The day that I walked into this bar, did you recognize me for who I am?
How could I not recognize those horns? How do you think that you've been uh, well looked upon in the quarter that you frequent?
I see. Does Jay know this?
He doesn't know exactly. He knows a little. He remembers Idina from way back when, he used to work in the kitchen too.
No.
Don't tell him I said that. He likes to be thought of as the person he is. He was here before the rift,
What
He's
did he
made.
do then?
What did he do in the inn?
What did he do before the rift?
He worked in the kitchen here.
He was a scullery man.
No, he helped your mother. But he doesn't know about you in that way, and I'd rather him not.
Christ Almighty. Wait, nobody would say Christ Almighty in this world. Tharn and Almighty. Are you telling me that he's my father? No, he doesn't have horns like that either.
No. Honestly, I've never met your father. At least, I don't think I've ever met your father. Idina never pointed out anyone. I've never seen a man with horns like yours. Your mother had horns like yours.
And I was born before the rift, yeah.
Just before. Maybe a year.
Well, that's interesting, because I thought that was much older than that.
Well, no, maybe 2.
Time
Well, let me
passed
see.
funny that I grew up.
Let me see. You did. I'd have to ask Myra. Maybe I'm misremembering because, you were a kid running around. I didn't know that you could turn out to be you. Let's see. No, you were little. You weren't. You couldn't have been more than 4 or 5, at the very most. That much I'm sure of. But as it turns out, between 1 and 4.
I'll jump in for a second.
Please.
He was actually an infant when he was sent away.
Thank you. Like I said, that voice just came to me in my head that said,
Yes, I think I heard God speak to us. Amazing. I don't think God.
I know.
I just heard God. It's very strange.
I know. Yeah, I wouldn't mention it to Jay. Yes.
I will not then,
He
but
knows.
I should perhaps speak with your wife before I go.
I could send her in here, and the 2 of y'all can have a talk. But you actually, looking out the little crack in the door. It looks like they're still pretty busy, and I probably should get back out there. You're going to
Do
be here
so.
a day or 2, I would imagine.
I had not planned on it, but perhaps my plans have changed.
Come back when the bar's not busy. I'll make sure she sits down and serves you a piece of apple pie. That is your mother's recipe.
All right, get back to work.
I'm gonna get back to work, and I'll tell Myra that you want to talk to her a little bit later.
And Huck's just going to sit in that room and drink that pitcher of beer until somebody shows up to refresh it. And then he'll drink that one too until Myra shows up eventually.
The conversation with Myra is it's a thing for another time. You sit and you drink and you drink.
He
They
passes
do.
out.
They do continue bringing you pictures as long as you're able to stay awake to empty them.
There's a loud
It's
thudding
Huck. That
sound.
could be a
The
while.
sound
Right.
of Huckavis's head hitting the table.
So at that, the scene fades to black. The audience can see Adina leaving the finery that once was the Rusty Bucket. The night is fairly dark. A slight bit of drizzle in the air. She only lives a few blocks away. She gets maybe 2 blocks away from the Rusty Bucket. And she's met with a voice from the alley. Where is my son? I don't know. I swear. A hand reaches from the darkness and grabs her arm. I said, where is my son? He's gone. You'll never find him. Oh, you whore. The worst part is I believe you. The hand holding her arm shoves her to the ground. Yes. You and your kind will pay for this. Oh, you will pay. The scene fades. Andrew.
That's some good stuff, guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, Lisa, thanks.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
Big shoes to fill.
And I chose to go last. Lucky me. It's going to be grossly disappointing.
Like cleanser.
Yeah.
You do know that this is my forte. I couldn't tell you how to roll what when you pass somebody, it's an AOO, or is it?
Yes, it is.
I don't know how that works, though. I promise you. Not in 3-5, not now.
All right, Andrew, let's do this thing.
All right, Corey. Are we the last ones?
Nope, I'll be the last one because I need to be.
Oh, okay. So, you spent a few days nursing your wounds and healing up in Phandalin, and the whole time, all you can think about is that wraith that was down there. That's all you can think about is how he just stomped the piss out of you. And it kind of weighs on you while you heal up. But you get tidied up. You're back in fighting form again. And yeah, what do you want to do with your time?
Well, it's certainly something that I agree. That wraith just struck a chord, and once I'm feeling better, I'd hopefully before he left, I would have liked to get with Derek and profess to him how much distaste I had to that, and maybe even invite him to come down into the mine again to see if we can find that fucker.
Yeah, you managed to catch Derek before he heads out on his own. He was in pretty bad shape anyway, so he needed some time to heal up.
So, I find Derek and I go, hey, it's not okay. It's not okay what that wraith did to the two of us. He got you worse than he even got me, my friend.
Yeah, he did us pretty dirty down there.
I can't let this go. It's all I see every moment. When I go to sleep, when I wake up, when I'm eating food, when I'm trying to be fucking normal in this plane that has nothing to do with me.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking me and you need to go down there and fix this wrong.
Go down, settle up the score?
It's I feel a lot more powerful after this healing. How about you, my friend?
I ain't feeling too bad myself, to be honest.
You know, I've got a new trick I'd like to show you when we get down there, hopefully.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let's get ourselves stocked up here, make sure we got what we need to get in and out, and yeah, I say we go square up with that bastard.
Yeah, it's time. And, you know, maybe a day to so on and so forth, you know, make sure that we're in really good shape. And then he comes back to you and says, "Are you ready?"
Absolutely, whenever you are.
All right, my friend. The front of the mine still hasn't been worked on. I don't even think the rock seekers have gotten here yet. So, you know, I know that Guthrag was talking about having them come and take over and working with rock seeker, the black malls. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. They're so confusing, all these new people to me. But yeah, the black mall tribe, I guess, is supposed to be coming. Isn't that what you heard as well?
Yeah, that is the long and short of what I heard.
Okay, and Rockseeker is very interested in. I spoke to him just yesterday, and he's interested in getting that wraith out of there before the Rockseekers get here. I mean, before the Black Maul tribe gets here, because it won't look good if we didn't clear the mine out properly.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go down and make sure what's done is done.
All right, and take it from there, bud.
All right. So you head back down into the cave, and you come back across the shack. The door's still hanging ajar, and everything is pretty much as you guys left it.
Is the green skull still there?
No, Ken, is the green skull still there?
Well, we think we lost Ken.
We will assume, unless we're told otherwise, that no, it is no longer there.
Or it's not, if that's better.
Yes, it's not there.
All right, so you know, so this is the shack in which we fought him, or that we slept that evening.
This is the shack where you fought him.
Where we fought him. I'd like to walk in. Is that case still there? You know,
as you start to walk in, you see the shadows start to rise from the floor again and take shape of the wraith.
And I very quickly back up and go, "I know you. You're Malfarakanin, or whatever the fuck your name is."
This is close enough. Why are you here? Our deal was done.
And I do. I back out of the door and I back down the stairs. And when I back down the stairs, Derek's standing there next to me, and I go, "This deal isn't done. You took something from both of us, and we're here to take it back from you."
All right, you gonna roll initiative on that?
Yeah, I'd like to roll initiative and just rush right at him.
Okay, Ken, I'm gonna need your help here.
Oh, I wish I wouldn't have wasted that.
I don't have a monster manual, so I can't see what this guy's got going for him.
Oh, I see. All right, I'll need a second on that. But it sounds like Corey won initiative anyhow.
Yeah, I definitely won initiative. I rolled a 20.
I rolled a 17 for the wraith.
All right.
So it's actually a 20. Oops, I gotta.
And Derek in true form is going at a 3.
Ew, he's always excited to do things. That's a 22 total. But I totally wasted that on a fucking initiative roll.
All right, Corey, I believe you are first.
All right, so you know, he's definitely confused at why Derek and I are there, and I used that chance to just run right at him, and I'm gonna go for a very, very strong attack, just maybe a clothesline or something like that, and we're gonna go from there. And that's definitely gonna miss because that's a 4 plus 7, 12.
You're correct. That is a miss.
Okay. I'm gonna take another swing. Let me read this. All right.
Would you start watching?
And that's 6 plus 7, 13. Not even better.
So hang on one more second, and I think I can help you out,
It's really good.
Andrew. What's that? What?
Sorry, I'm getting yelled at because I started watching a TV show without the wife.
Oh.
Oh no.
You can play this game.
Alright, oh, I mean, in general what he can do. If you want to
Yeah,
go ahead and do that, I'll get
I'm-
some specifics. moments.
Yeah.
I'll
So
do this. If you want to put it up on the screen, I just won't look. I've got both my PDFs up anyways. So if you want to put it up on the screen, you can just do that, and I won't look. I promise.
I think I got it covered.
that would be greatly helpful.
Alright.
Yeah, I promise I won't.
Andrew, are you on
The Facebooks?
Facebook
Yes.
chat? Yeah. Why will it not? I'll send it to the group, and you guys can just not look at it. It'll be easier since I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just not look at it. It's fine. Yeah, but I missed those two for first attack, so whatever you want to do. But it's going to be the race turn anyways.
Okay. He lets out a laughing cackle and says, "This didn't work well for you last time, and it's going to work worse this time." And he's going to make an attack at you.
It's, of course, taking longer. He's with his attack that I assume you're making his primary attack is +6 to hit.
Okay. Corey, does a 20 hit you?
Yep. Is it a regular attack?
What do you mean? Is it a regular attack?
Is
It's
it
a weaponish attack? Yeah, I mean it's a melee attack.
Spectral.
Yeah, it's like his creepy, fuzzy
Arm
ghostly hand.
thing. Yeah. Okay. So he's punching me as well. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use a moxie point.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, whatever. Go ahead and do your damage or whatever that is.
Okay, it's 4d8 plus 3.
Oh, wonderful.
Plus what? Plus 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's 27 damage.
I can't even reduce that.
And then you need to make a con save.
Well, actually, I can. So 10 plus 4 plus. So I can reduce 19, so at least it won't be so bad. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm gonna roll a d10, and we will reduce whatever it is. That's 8 plus 9 is 17. So I reduce it by 17. So I take 10. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Okay. So all that goes away, and I lose 2. Okay.
And then you need to make a DC 14 con save.
DC 14 con save.
Yep.
That's a good thing for me. Yep, I passed that. 18 plus 6, so 24.
Okay. All right.
So then nothing happens because of that, right?
Yeah, you just take
Okay, so exactly how does your reduction work? What's the feat called?
Okay.
What are you doing in theory?
It's called Kraus Counter. I can block the brunt of an attack with the launch one of my own at the same time. I can use my reaction to spend 1 moxie point and reduce the damage of a melee attack made against you by 1d10 plus my strength modifier, which is 4, plus my Putrus level, which is 5.
I'm just curious what it is.
And then if
I'm trying to envision what you're doing. I don't care.
So yeah, that's fine. So if I was to reduce that to 0, then I can make an unarmed attack.
I don't
But
care
whatever
what the
I take.
mechanics are. What are you doing? Physically,
So-
tell me what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I got you on that. So he swings at me, and I just move enough that he just catches a portion of my shoulder. As I'm just trying to move out of the way. So he did catch me, but it wasn't as much as he expected it probably to be. I take it and I just shrug it off a little bit. I used up all of my iron chin HP, and he doesn't look very hurt at all. Not at all.
Okay.
All right.
You, Andrew.
Yep, Derek's going to charge in.
Would you like me to just run the wraith?
Yeah, that would be good.
All right.
Derek charges in with a 13.
That will miss.
Fantastic job, Derek.
Yeah, we're just rolling great right now.
Yeah.
So it's, again, top of the order. I know that's me. So because you have nothing to do there, right, bud?
No.
Okay. That's a lot better. I'm gonna swing again. I'm gonna give him a straight, nice uppercut. That's 17 plus 7, so that's 24.
Oh, that'll hit.
Take this plate, please.
I roll here. Bam. That was not enough damage. That was 5 damage in the first one.
He seems very slightly affected.
And then the this next one, I'm going to spend another Moxie point here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use a new ability called Haymaker. That if I hit with this one at this point, I can spend a Moxie point, and then I will stun him if he doesn't succeed on the con save. So that is 13 plus 7, so 20.
To hit, yeah.
Yep. All right. So you need to roll a DC 14.
Do damage?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. That is max damage. That's 10 damage that time.
All right.
And you need to make a DC 14 con save.
Or
Somebody
what?
needs to roll that for you, right?
Or what?
A DC 14 con save.
Or what?
Or be stunned.
Stunned. Carl, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Yes, sir. I'm rolling you a d20. I hope I'm not feeding back. I don't have my headphones on, and I've turned off my speaker. If I'm feeding back, somebody...
No, you're not.
I'm rolling a d20. Boom pow. That is a 12.
Hey, he is
No.
not stunned.
He is not stunned. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Fantastic.
So it's my turn again?
Your turn
Yep.
again.
I got my head.
Yeah, he's just gonna try to reach inside your chest, Corey, and rip out some sort of innard that you probably can use later. So he hovers towards you and says, "Fool!" Reaches into your chest. Give me a roll, Carl.
Flat d20
Yep.
is an 8.
And your armor class is a 14 hit?
15. No, I'm a 15.
Okay, then it's a 15. All right, Derek.
Derek's going to take...
Actually, hang on, Derek, before you do that. You know, kind of as you got deeper into the mines, you kept seeing little wisps of this green mist from time to time, if you recall. And the creature reaches in and actually puts his hand inside Bothric's chest. And as he pulls it out, though he's done no damage, you see a little wisp of that kind of float in where the hand came out. Go ahead, Derek.
All right. Derek's going to take a swing. Does a 23 hit?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to do another Divine Smite.
All right.
Let me pull this back up so I know what I'm doing here. All right. So I deal 8 regular damage, and we're going to go ahead and add 9 radiant damage as well.
9
Oh, is a Wraith an undead?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so I get an additional one because he's an undead.
Okay.
So it's 10 radiant damage.
Okay. He recoils from your assault.
Okay. Ken, if he starts getting really messed up, let me know.
I'll let you know when he's bloodied.
Okay.
All right, Corey or Bother.
Okay.
You kind of, your eyes widen as you see this mist begin to pour into your flesh.
So I look down at my chest, and as you said, the green mist is starting to pour into me. Does it seem to be coming back out, or does it seem to stay in my body?
It is not leaving.
It's not leaving. And I look over to Derek, and I look back at the wraith, and I go, "Your magic won't work on me. It won't work." And I take another swing,
Okay.
and that is 14 plus 7.
No hit.
Yep. What's a d6? It's 5 plus 4 is 9 damage.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to spend another Moxie point here, and I'm going to do that good old 1-2 thing, so I get 2 more unarmed attacks.
All right.
And I'll roll those 2 at the same time. And there's a 17 and a 20.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter. I'll hit the first one with 1d6. That's a 4 plus 4 is 8. And the second one's going to be 2d6. Because that was the... So that is 8 plus 9, 17 more damage. And I look at him and I go, I think you fucked with the wrong 2 guys there, Wraith. And I push him in the face on the last one just as hard as I can, just like an open hand slap, and slap him right across the head.
All right. So Derek, you see, with your knowledge of undead, you believe he is now bloodied.
Okay.
Bothric pushes his hand, kind of crushes around the mouth, like very often you see in a movie. And as you pull your hand away, you almost see, you're not sure, it's hard to tell, but if a wraith can smile, he's smiling. And he looks you straight in the eye and he says, "Ha, that's where you're wrong. It's not my magic." And he'll swing at Bothric again.
That's a 16.
All right, so 22, that'll hit. Give me 48 plus 3, please. Carl.
Wonderful.
13 plus whatever that plus was. I rolled a 13.
Plus 3?
16.
16, yeah. You
All
suck,
right, so-
Carl.
Yeah, that was awful, because I'm definitely going to use my reaction to do that. So we're going to use one more Moxie point, see if I can make that all go away and punch him in his grill.
I got 1 8, and the rest was a 1 and a 2 and a 1 or something.
Oh, that sucks.
That was sucking.
That was a whole bunch of suck. Yeah. Oh, there's that 10. So 10 plus 9 is 19, so I make that all go away, and I get to hit him again.
All right.
Bam! And that's another natural 20.
Stop.
I don't want to kill him, though. So, yeah, we're going to do that. That is 6 plus 4, 10 damage.
10?
Yeah.
All right.
And then now it's Derek's turn. So.
All right. So he's not on his last leg or anything, Derek, but he is bloody.
Okay. The Wraith recoils and staggers back and hisses. Says, "You have no idea what you've unleashed. I'm going to be back for you. Mark my words on that." And he slowly vanishes.
Yeah. And Boflik just roars and growls and tries to dig at the ground. Did he go into the ground again?
No, he just vanished.
He just vanished?
Yeah.
And and he like just pounces on the ground in front of where it was, hoping that he could catch him before it goes away, and he just demystifies right in front of him.
Yep.
He starts digging into the ground, so on and so forth, like just like a madman, and just screams, "No, I will have you one day!" And screams that type of thing, and then looks back at Derek and goes, "What a
Hang on,
coward!"
hang on, stop.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on your hands and knees, you're ripping at the floorboards, trying desperately to get to it. And as you lift your head up to look back towards Derek, you see this green glow is now coming out of his eyes and out of his mouth when he opens it to speak. This green mist kind of pours forth. Go ahead. I don't know what you're doing there, Bothrick.
And that's fine. And then I scream to Derek. I go, "He's a coward. He ran away. I knew he would. I don't even trust him. He can't bring anything back here that's worse than him." And I just ramble on and on and on and on.
Yeah, Derek's gonna try and calm him down and be like, I think we may have bigger problems here than that.
What? And at that moment, he just he goes.
He'll motion to Boftik as he starts talking to kind of draw his attention to the mist.
And now, can I notice that it's coming out of me, Ken?
When he points it out, yeah. It comes out of you for a few minutes, and then it stops. Stops coming out. Derek, however, being outside of you, can see that basically your veins are kind of glowing green as this spreads throughout your body.
Interesting. Does it do anything more to me, or is it just...
You don't feel any different at all.
I don't feel any different? Okay.
No.
And I look at Derek and did notice the green, and I was like, that, I don't know. How did you feel when he took the power away from you?
Wasn't like that.
I don't remember anything green coming out of you as well.
Nope. And
I look at my arms and...
If memory serves me correct, that's looking a lot like the Forge of Worlds. And the same green fire that was coming off the skull.
And he looks at you and he goes, "That's impossible."
Nothing's impossible, my friend.
And he clutches his fists together. If he tries real hard and he really pushes from within himself, can he feel that green, that ability inside of him, or is it just not there really?
Well, you focus really hard, and you convince yourself, whether it's real or not, that you
feel stronger or whatever. Yeah.
You kind of close your eyes and make fists and like flex your muscles, that sort of thing. That would
right. Kind of Vegeta move, you know what I mean?
At this point, Derek sees the veins recede back to normal, but your arms now have these green tattoos, for lack of a better word, running up and down them.
Oh. Interesting. I look and I notice and I go, I don't know what happened there, my friend. If it's anything like what happened to Payne, that dagger that Huckvis keeps rambling about, this might be actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but what are you going to do when that wraith comes back and starts wrecking house here again?
I guess we'll have to find out when that happens, my friend. I'm going to tell you what, you said you were about to head out. I'll tell you what, why don't we make our way back up to the top side and we'll go from there. How's that for you?
Sounds like a plan. I'm ready to get out of this place anyways. With that, you guys head back to the surface, and Corey, that is the end of your scene.
That's actually awesome. I'll steal another minute if I may.
Absolutely, Ken.
You head out, and on your way up, you kind of talk, and Bothrick says, well, you know what? Why don't I go with you? It's not safe to travel alone. And you decide that's probably not a bad idea. And so you get up and you lead the way out the exit, the little side exit that you guys found. Bothrick makes it about 5 feet beyond the edge of the mountain, only to have the same green mist reach out from the tunnel entrance and wrap itself around his wrist like manacles and begin pulling him back in.
And I look at Derek, and I look at myself, and I hold up my hands, and I go, I think I understand now. I may be stuck here, Derek. And I try to move forward, and what happens?
You are restrained. It is not painful. It is not violent.
But I can't pass the quote unquote threshold of the mine.
Exactly.
Okay. And I look at Derek and I go, I think you're gonna have to go on that journey alone, my friend. If you're in Fandolin again, come visit me. I would love to see you.
I will.
And if I need, I think I will have to. If that wraith comes back, I may have to send for you. You seem to do very well against it.
You let me know, and I'll be here.
Sounds like a plan, my friend. And I walk up to. I invite him to come back because I can't walk any more forward, and I do that that forearm arm shake with him and say it was a pleasure to have. I don't know what the pleasure is at this point, but at this point, I think I need to talk with Guthrag, and I'll talk with the others, and we'll see what happens from there, okay?
Absolutely. If you need anything, you let me know.
Good luck in that journey, my friend.
Thank you, and good luck on your new adventure ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is at this point, but we'll have to talk. Like I said, I think talking to Guthrag is going to be the most important thing now.
Yeah. The just for the faintest second, Derek, when you're doing the forearm, your heart leaps as you're certain the green mist is attempting to coalesce around your arms as well. But surely it must have been a trick of light.
Okay.
And I turn around and I walk back into the mine and I just start looking around.
And I think that's the end of your scene, Corey.
There we go.
Sorry to drag it on there.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it was perfect.
Thank you for the help there.
Yeah, it was perfect.
My pleasure.
So,
all right. That brings us to our final mini session.
And that's done by me, apparently. How lucky. Well, we can see up Carl's nose. That's always exciting. And it's going to be for done by Corey for Guthrag. And heck yeah. We're going to find out how much heck yeah it is here in just a second. So to start the scene here, what we see is a large caravan of rams and other type of small game that could be ridden. And there's large, well, almost large, wagons and covered wagons and just more dwarves than you've ever seen. And in the front of that, you see, riding on a very ornate, saddled, and rather mean-looking ram, Elder Forrung. Did I say that correct? Forrun?
Yes.
Okay. And he's leading his clan. He's not very far outside of Fandolin at this point, and as they would, they're making quite the ruckus. Um, you know, it looks like probably most of the clan is there. Probably just the only ones that stayed back were the ones that were necessary to keep where they came from running. And about another 10 minutes goes by, and they make it to the city proper of Fandolin, and with great fanfare and such. And where were you at this point, Guthrie?
To be honest, Guthrag was probably at the tavern,
Okay.
probably just making his way out, having filled himself with ale.
Okay. You see this, coming up the road. I mean, it's a pretty straight road there. Fairly wide open, so you can see the clan coming towards you. And I'm sure this gets your heart racing a little bit. Probably pretty excited to see a lot of your brothers you haven't seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, instantly sober.
Yeah, and but in the front you can see him. He's right there, Elder. Forgrun, and his most trusted advisors are right there in the front, leading this caravan into town. And when it gets there, he looks at you. He sees you right there, and you're standing outside the tavern, and that's right there, quite right there in the front of the town. So he goes, Guthrag, you sent for us. This better be good, because you said there's a mine that we can start working on. Is that correct, my friend? And he hops off his ram.
Yeah, and Guthrag will, as he sees him approaching, he fixed his armor, and then as he speaks to him, Guthrag will kneel down, placing his hammerhead on the dirt, grasping the pommel, and bowing his head. I, Elder Forgren, there's a mine that could be refurbished, for lack of a better term.
And what is this that you're talking about? This is a mine that makes magical weapons? Is that what you said?
Aye. It has this fire, this green spectral fire, and I think we could make great use of it.
Is it unspoiled? Is it still there?
It is.
Sounds wonderful, my friend. I knew we sent you out on a quest, but we didn't think you'd find something this great. Tell me of your adventure. Tell me of how you conquered this mine. It must not have been anything. It must have been not empty when you got down there.
We had quite the fight. I had some companions by my side that helped with it. We had to fight our way through the ranks of the undead, and we finally had to take out the occupants' leaders, if you will, 2 wizards or warlocks. I'm not quite sure. It was a long, hard battle, but we were victorious in the end.
You said you had company.
Aye, sir.
Were there any dwarves with you?
There was indeed a dwarf with us. His name was Bofthik. Bofthik Ironfist.
And when you say that name, his eyes narrow, and he goes, "That's impossible. Bofthik Ironfist is a legend. He's been dead for 3,000 years, my friend. It's impossible for him to be here."
And as soon as Outer Forgren would say that, Guthrag would kind of raise his head a little bit, like in shock. Well, he did seemingly come from beyond whenever we found him.
In the tomb.
Aye, sir.
That was told that tomb was impenetrable. How did you get in there?
Well, we had our ways.
And
That might be a longer story for a different time, sir.
And it starts rousing from the band of dwarves. They're banging on things. He goes, and they're banging on things, so on and so forth. And the elder puts up his arm and he goes, "If this is true, that Bofthik Iron Fist has come back, that means there must be a great war upon us. And he looks back at his elders and he looks back at you, and he goes, "What have you uncovered, my friend? What is with this mine? Who who owns this mine?"
Well, we're not entirely sure, but we've uncovered evidence that there's going to be a war. And out of character, who does own this mine?
Nunzo Rockseeker.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, my bad.
The
Okay.
tiefling owns it. The tiefling owns it.
Back into character here. Oh, DM Carl left.
Yeah, he'll be back in a second, I'm sure.
Okay. The Rockseeker brothers own this mine.
The Rockseekers. I've heard bad things and stories of them not doing so well lately. I heard they were all dead.
All but one. We found him in the mine.
Which one did you find, out of curiosity?
Ken?
It's Nunzo, right? Isn't that the correct name, Ken?
Nuno, N-U-N-O.
Nuno. Okay, yeah.
Nuno,
We
okay.
started with Ken.
Yeah.
We found Nuno Rockseeker. He was seemingly taken captive.
Fantastic. He's always my favorite. I always liked him. I liked him more than his crazy ass brothers. He was the one that seemed to have a little bit of a level head on him. So he's still here.
Aye, he's recovering. We thought when we found him, he was in pretty bad shape, but he should be fit to lead this mine with our help.
Sounds wonderful. Wait, our help? Are you not going to continue traveling with your band?
And then Guthrag would, kind of bow his head a little bit and hesitate before he speaks again. Aye, sir. Through prayer, Tyr told me that it was for the best if I stay here and help you. It is my duty, granted down by our god Tyr.
And he looks at you, he sizes you up and down, and he goes, "By the god of Tyr, by the eye of Tyr, the prodigal son has come back. He has found us this mine. He has brought me Nuno Rockseeker." And he looks back at his band and he goes, "Do we want to stay?" And there's an enormous cheer. And he goes, "This town, it looks like it was ravaged some. It looks like we may have to rebuild this as well. Do you think they'll have us, brother?"
And then Guthrag will take a look around at the town, take a look at the ornate armors and weaponry. Aye, sir. I think they'll gladly have us.
Wonderful. Show me this mine and bring Nuno Rockseeker. I'd like to see it. And if you know where Iron Fist is, I'd like to see him too. Now,
Aye.
little do you know who Iron Fist is. I mean, Boflick's in the mine still, because this happened before what happens here.
Okay.
Fast forward a little bit. You gather Rockseeker. Okay, I guess we lost Andrew as well. Rockseeker, the Elder, a couple other of his key officials, yourself, make it towards the mine. And he, very obviously, you're all dwarves, so very knowingly, he went to where he would figure the front of the mine is, and he goes, "Are you playing a game on me? This is all caved in. How do you expect us to get into this mine?"
Well, that is sort of the problem. That's going to be something we have to take care of, but there's another way in.
And he goes, "Are you certain we can use this mine?"
Oh, absolutely, sir. It's just going to take a little bit of a work. It's what you would call a fixer-upper.
And he giggles. All right. I guess that's kind of what us dwarves are like. If if it was easy every time, we would not know what to do with ourselves, would we, there, young man?
That is the truth.
And he looks at Nuno and he goes, "So you own this mine, do you? Can you play Nuno? Ken, do you mind?
I do.
You do mind? Okay, well, up you then. Just I'll ask you some questions, and it will just be easy to answer.
I can handle it.
Yeah. No, and I got what you're saying there. So, do you feel as if we can get this up and working as well, Nuno?
What I've seen in the past few days since the heroes cleared out, I believe this mine will be a great boon for our peoples.
That sounds wonderful. I know it's yours, but I have to be on the equal ground with you, Rockseeker. The Black Ball and the Rockseeker clan together. We've talked of this before, but we never had a reason to do it. It sounds wonderful. What say you?
I believe we can come to an accord.
Sounds wonderful. Well, take me inside your mind, Guthrag. I would like to see what I'm getting myself into. And he looks back at the other two elders with him, and he goes, "Let's go, gentlemen." And you lead your way. You go down into that passage that we've been, and it looks as you expect. Except for when you get a bit of the way in the mine, not quite to where the shack was, and so on and so forth. You maybe have warned them that you may find a wraith and or that green skull. You don't find the green skull. That seems to be gone. But when you get to where that shack was that we spent the night in, not the one that the wraith lived in, its chimney is smoking. And I would assume that would alarm you guys, because you didn't think there was anybody down here.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you gonna do with that?
Well, as we approached the shack, Guthrag, would probably notice the smoke, seeing as though it wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm. And it appears as if somebody might be living inside of it.
Okay. So Guthrag would whisper to Elder Forgren. He'd be like, "Well, looks like there might be somebody in there. They weren't there before. We can take care of this." And make our way over cautiously.
And at that moment, the door opens, and out rolls in a heap of just anger and so on and so forth. Is Boftik, and he jumps up and he's got both of his hands up, in a nice fighting stance, and he goes, yeah, I knew it was you, Guthrag. I could smell you from a mile away. Who have you brought to the mine? Is this the Black Malls? Oh, Rockseeker, you're looking much better, my friend.
Thank you, Guthrie. Thank you, Arthur.
Yeah, you're looking like your old self, probably.
This is after your.
Yeah. This is after my possession here.
He kind of looks at you, a bit askew.
Mm-hmm.
You've done some modifications, I see.
And he looks down at his arms, and he kind of rubs them together a little bit and rubs his arms on each of them. And he goes, yeah, it's, the wraith that was here is no longer. Me and Derek took care of that. Well, I don't know if we took care of it. At least it ran like the dog that it was. And then he looks over at Guthrag and he goes, it's a strange thing now. Remember how that green stuff he was putting around? Do you remember that, Guthrag?
I do. It's what happened
Um,
to our weapons when we put it in the fire, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you put some of that inside of me. And I
Let
can't.
me jump in a sec. Guthrie, roll me a knowledge religion check.
Okay. 16.
You see that Bothric's arms are covered with a number of runes. Two of them that you can actually recognize just by glancing are one is a rune of protection,
Okay.
and the second one is the rune for servitude or service.
Okay. And seeing probably the one of servitude, Guthrag would um, immediately, his thoughts would start running towards maybe the wraith is inside of Bofthik, or maybe he's indebted. And Guthrag would see that, and he would point to it and say, Bofthik, do you know what that means?
No, I have no idea. And he's looking at his arm, and he flexes it again. It gets a little bit bigger. And he goes, "But I'll tell you what it did to me. Is that Derek and I vanquished that wraith, or at least we thought we did. He said he'd be back even. And then I tried to leave the mine, and when I did, it wouldn't allow me. It put shackles around me, and I couldn't leave. And they were that green color, like that pain weapon that you talk about and had was on yours."
You hear a voice from the back of the party that you're leading through here, the dignitaries of the Blackmaw clan. And Guthrag, once you hear the voice, you're shocked that you didn't realize that he was here. The religious leader that you actually trained under, his name is Theranor. And you hear his voice, obviously much more weakened and aged than last you saw him. He says, "You banished nothing. You freed him.
I freed him from this mine, or from this plane. Does it mean he can come back?"
He may go as he pleases. Each mine where magics are forged has a protector, a defender. I suspect he was bound to this place.
And has that become me?
I do believe so."
And he gets a wry grin on his face, and he goes, "I have meaning again. I have." And he looks at Guthrag, and he looks at the rest of the Blackmalls, and he goes, I will work with you, brothers." And then he looks at Roxy here, and he goes, "Especially you, because I know you own this mine, and I will be here to protect it forever."
Nuno looks at you and says, "I suspect by the morrow we shall own this mine." And he looks at the black malls that are here, kind of nods. The old man speaks one last phrase before he fades back. He says, "If what you have told me is true, what is coming, and you are who you say you are, then we need to get this mine back in service, for we will need its products."
And Bafta looks directly at Theranor, and says, "I could be nothing else. I served King Sylvanus for as long as I can remember, and I certainly am Bothbrook Ironfist, and I am here now to protect his mine, and I will take that upon myself." And I look over and then he looks over at Elder and says, "I will be your loyal servant. I promise. Between me, Guthrag, and whatever warriors you bring here, this mine will be safe forever."
Aye.
And they, I imagine that they do a kind of a circle of, maybe of arms, not like a cheer, but you know what I mean, like get in there, and they all start shaking each other's hands. It certainly seems like they've come to an accord. Um, and then he looks and he goes, "So I guess this is my home now. Better than that
Okay.
spectral plane." Um,
Well, if this is your home, I suspect we should get to cleaning it up, eh?
I think that sounds like a wise decision there, gentlemen. And he starts looking. He goes, "I think I'm going to sleep in this one." And he points to the shack behind him. And he goes, "I think the first thing we need to do is get that water wheel going." And the boom has been happening, obviously, because
You're trying to say,
stuff.
boom.
Yeah. And I go, "I know where the water source is." And I look at Guthrak. He goes, "I race you there." And it's the first time that you've seen him be a little bit playful because he feels like he has a purpose again. And he goes, "Come on, brother!" And he starts running. And that's the end of my scene as far as I'm concerned.
Woo!
And the dun dun dun. Yes, Bostic is going to stay in the mine. He will not be played by me anymore. It may be an NPC that is used, but he absolutely was way too powerful, guys, and I was not going to be able to control him anymore.
I could have controlled him, but I don't know that anybody would like to.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to get controlled in a manner that Ken was going to have to control him, and or he would have had to just raise the CR and everything, and it would have been harder for you guys. So it just wasn't. Unfortunately, so there will be a new person starting next week. I'll just say this: she's very interesting. I'm going back to playing a female, and she's in the book. Whatever. No, she's very different than what Corey likes to play. Let's just say that. And if
Wait.
anybody,
Wait, you've played silly and you've played serious.
right?
And you've
Yep.
played some kind of like a hybrid serious silly.
Yeah.
So
And
where are you going to go from there?
I guess I have to wait till next week.
It's a discussion for a later time, because
It
right
is a
now
discussion.
the scene fades from the mine, and another scene opens. It's a wooded glade, extremely lush. The leaves are larger and more beautiful than most. You see a fey creature, one that some of you have seen before. Some of you know them quite well. He speaks to Marisara. They must not reopen the city. You know what lies there. They are not listening. We have made all the offers we can think of. We've offered them everything, but they believe it is their heritage, and they demand the right to return to their ancestral lands, and they are bound and determined to take it by force. Do what you must. They cannot reclaim the city. And that scene fades away. And you open into a new scene in a beautiful elven enclave deep within the woods. See a similar scene. An elf, ancient even by elven standards, sits upon a beautiful throne carved of deepest ash wood. Your grandparents are from there. It is our heritage. It is our right to return home. We we can walk upon the streets where our fathers walked. We can walk upon there. We can reclaim the homes of our mothers. We can find their graves. We can make things right as they once were. We can return the glory. And the small council of elves that are sitting nod in silent agreement. Then they speak in a whispers of yes, it is our right. That's what we must do. And with those words, that scene fades away as well. And we can stop there if you like.
That's wonderful.
Heck yeah, that tonight was